and set the intention of
Mhm.
what do I want? After you start releasing, right? You have to go through the process first of
Mhm.
releasing the trauma, releasing all of the things that are blocking you.
Oh yeah, you
You
got
know?
this one life to live. You got the one go around at this, so make it great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And set the intention of
Mhm.
what do I want? After you start releasing, right? You have to go through the process first of
Mhm.
releasing the trauma, releasing all of the things that are blocking you.
Welcome back to the Mapuana Reed Show. Today we have my sister Tahiti Reed with us. She is a medium and a channel who channels star consciousness. She's been doing this for over 20 years. She is the co-author of 2 books, Speaking Abundance Method and Finding Your Superpower. She is also the creator of SoulSchool, which is an online platform that helps you raise your frequency and your vibration within yourself. Welcome to the show. Okay, so there's something that I like to call her job, her journey on becoming. So take me on your spiritual journey.
Okay, so my spiritual journey it started as a kid because I've always been able to see spirit, and you as my sister always knew that growing up. And there are times where you're like, "Oh my gosh, don't tell me," because I don't want to know if there's someone over there or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, but growing up, it was hard, because seeing spirit wasn't something that was accepted. And so it was something taboo, really. And especially with, our parents weren't that open. And so whenever I would say something like, "Oh, I feel like there's something this," or someone is here, there's a message. And so growing up, I was always taught to not embrace that part of me until I moved out of the house, became a flight attendant, and then started having some really profound experiences with, living on my own. And I was just like, oh my gosh, there's so much happening. And I remember one night where I felt like, because I've always felt like, is this a burden or a gift? And the more I help people, I know that it's a gift. And so I'm at a stage in my life where, this is absolutely 100% a gift, where I can help people differently than how your, standard healing practices are, through channeling, through getting closure with maybe a loved one that has passed, So it's a different kind of healing. And my spiritual journey it's still going, it's evolving. And I love it. I love it so much, because once you start to accept the gift that God has given you, everyone has gifts. Right? That's why we wrote Finding Your Superpower. Everyone has their own superpower. And so when you find that, and just so happen mine is to see spirit and to channel star consciousness, the sky's the limit. Like, your life will start to unfold where you are the gift to people, right? Your energy exchange to people is beautiful, because you've accepted who you are. You're not fighting, because there's a battle, I feel like, going on with a lot of people of, is this a gift? Do I accept this part of me? Especially for people who are seers, because we've been killed so many times in our past lives for sharing messages, for sharing visions. And so this lifetime, hey, nobody's gonna kill me in this life, so it's safe. It's safe for me to be who I am and share my gift. Yeah.
For me, I feel like I choose not to. Like,
Girl, I know. Yeah. Yes.
well, okay, so like how you said when we were kids and like you would see someone, like we'd be in the room and she'd be like, "Mapu, there's somebody, like I feel a spirit." And I was like, "Oh girl, no, please no." Okay, I'm just gonna close my eyeballs and go to sleep. Like,
Yeah, but you always say, like, girl, if I feel something, just go to Tahiti. Don't even
like,
bother me.
don't come here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't come here. Go to her house. Yeah.
I'll give you her address. Yeah. I think for me, it's a little bit like, I kind of know that I have a little bit of it, but I choose not to dive so deep into it. Like maybe for me, I'm like more guarded around that for myself,
Well, you have it. If I have it, you have it because we come from the same mom and dad, right?
Yeah.
So it's in your DNA, and that's what we're talking about is our
Yes.
DNA.
Yeah.
And there's one time I remember where you came to visit me in Seattle and we went to this like spiritual bookstore.
Well, I only went because we were supposed to go eat lunch afterwards. And she was like, I have to go to this spiritual thing. So you got to come with me because that was my ride. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's the only reason why I went.
Right. And then we did this meditation, and then you had a message, right?
Yeah.
You said you saw a butterfly or something, and the person you told that to, we were paired up with strangers, and you
Yeah.
told that to, and she had lost her daughter,
Yeah.
and that was the sign she was looking for was the butterfly,
Yeah.
right? And then the lady started following you
I
around
know,
the
crying.
bookstore.
She was, I was just like,
Yeah, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, what happened?
Yeah.
But from that point, I'm like, you have something. So
Yeah.
I believe that everyone has some sort of knowingness beyond the mind, right? So there's this
Yeah.
spiritual connection you have, but it's just being brave enough and not scared of it
Yeah.
to tap into.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but you have it.
Yeah. Let's talk about, okay, so what you talked about earlier was DNA activation.
Yes.
What is DNA activation?
DNA activation is a tool that you can do and practice on your own. My guides teach that. And what it is for you to start clearing out 7 generations back. So let me just rewind here for a little bit. You were born in a pre-programmed body, and you have 6 to 7 generations back of programming, family trauma, all of the things, patterns. And so when you start to activate and reprogram your DNA, you are looking for all of these things to clear out of, even if you're unaware of maybe trauma that happened 7 generations back for your line, but it's in there because that's who makes you you. Your ancestors make you you, and you have some part of them inside of you, which is in your DNA still. You're holding that. And so what a DNA activation does is it releases those things that are lower vibrating, and it can help you raise your frequency so then you can start living a life that you absolutely love and start manifesting quicker. And so the DNA activations, it's also, we've seen people heal their bodies. And I'm not saying that DNA activation is a cure-all for everything, but it is such a good tool to start using to start creating synchronicities in your life, becoming more aligned with what you want. And so we have this in SoulSchool, we have a member that he would do his every single morning when he would walk the dogs. He would do his DNA activation, and he had severe psoriasis, and he's on a pacemaker, and so he wasn't the healthiest person. And when I would see him, like, his face was like whitish, like he didn't have color in his face, and I was worried about him. And once he started doing the DNA activations, the next time we saw him, he was like, hey, my psoriasis is like almost gone. He feels better, and he looks better. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, all from the DNA activation. He's like, yes, I do that all the time. And so it makes me feel so happy because he's healthier. He has more chi, more life in his body, so I love that.
So who is DNA activation for? Like, what type of people would this be helping? Someone with like a sickness, or just give me some examples of what type of people this would help.
So DNA activation is for anyone who wants to manifest, live their healthiest life, their wealthiest life. What do they want to experience? You're not stuck with the body you were dealt with, right? So you're born into maybe a dysfunctional family where maybe, parents are alcoholics or all the trauma or whatever. Maybe that's the body you were born into, but this is a tool that we are offering to reprogram that, to release that trauma from within, deep within your body. And there's other people that have pain. They've woken up with pain in the morning and they've done the DNA activations. And this is within a month's time and they're waking up pain free. So I'm just like so happy about that. So it's not just if you have a physical ailment, it's also if you're ready to advance and level up your vibration so that you can live the best and wealthiest life possible. And so if you want to manifest, then start looking in your DNA. Where can I clear out? Because when we do the process of DNA activation, you're in, how should I say this? You're visualizing your DNA in front of you. And so we work with your DNA outside your body, and then we start to light it up and clear out. And the thing is that you cannot just do one DNA activation and be like, oh my gosh, I am so good. Like, you know, like I don't have to do that anymore. It's like eating a salad and expecting to be, you know, super fit, right? Like lost 10 pounds after the one salad. It doesn't work like that. It's a process. And so the first time you do a DNA activation, you're reaching this, like the surface layer, what you're conscious of. Okay, I'm releasing all these things. Then the second time you do a DNA activation, you're going to go deeper. You're like, oh, I didn't realize wow, I am holding that stuff. And then you go third, fourth, and fifth. By the time you're in your sixth, seventh DNA activation you've passed the point of releasing and healing. And now you're infusing your DNA with what you want, the magic, what you want. You want wealth, you want health, you want connections, what you want to travel. Like, what do you want? And when we start that, right? Because you have to clean the house first before you put all the good stuff in, right? So you clean house first through DNA activation, and then you start to put in what you really want to experience. And it's magical.
Yeah. So, okay, so that process right there, so you said you do it 7 times.
You can do it 7 times, you can do it 100 times. Like, it just depends on like, how much are you holding? Everybody's holding different things.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's holding different things. And so if you are willing to start the process of activating something deep within you that can shift the trajectory of your life, you know, and it doesn't take that long to do. You can just incorporate it into your day, right? Like,
take me on your process. Like, what is the process?
So can I tell a story first on how we discovered this?
Yeah,
okay.
Go for it.
So we found out how to do this several years ago. We were at our friend's Airbnb in Waimanalo, and our other friend had her daughter, and who was deathly afraid of dogs. And so we were like, oh, that's weird. So we asked her, was she ever bit by a dog, attacked by a dog? Like, you know, why is she so afraid? And the mom was like, no, I don't know. Like, she's so afraid. Like, she won't go into the house. If there's a dog, she'll just lock herself in the car. And so we're like, oh, let's heal that. Let's see what that is. And so this little girl's running around the house, doesn't know, not like we're sitting down, like trying to, you know, talk to her. And so me and our other friend tuned in, and what we saw was her DNA just like popped up in front of us, and we could see a breakage in one of the ladders. And we looked deeper into her DNA, and we could see 7 generations back that one of her ancestors was attacked by wolves, and they, like, in the forest, I don't know where it was, but it was like not in this country. And from that attack, every generation after that, they were afraid of like dogs. And she doesn't know 7 generations back, right? But she still carried that. And so we put golden white light on that. We started to heal that, and we could see her DNA starting to like mend. And we're like, wow, that was kind of crazy. So then now our friend, the husband, gets the dog, brings the dog to the house. And so she's still kind of like, oh, I don't know. And she doesn't know we worked on her DNA. We asked permission from her mom, you know, and the mom was like, yes, of course, do it. Okay. So the dog comes. Within the hour, she's rolling around on the grass with the dog.
Wow.
Okay, she's petting the dog, and the mom is just in shock, like, what happened here? To the point where a couple weeks later, the mom's calling us, oh my gosh, every dog we see when we're going on a walk, she's like petting the dogs, and now they have dogs. And so this is the power of activating and healing your DNA, where you may not know why you're so fearful of something, but it may be because it might be within that span of 7 generations back, that you can still heal. So
Wow.
yeah, so
That's deep.
that's so after that we're like, wow, that was really interesting, because that was the first time a DNA had just like popped up in my vision to help someone. And then after that, now my guides are channeling activations. So I just step out of my body and my guide will walk people through a DNA activation for them, and they can see like, hey, you have this or this, and let's heal that.
Do you do private? I feel like I know all these questions, but I'm just asking for what else.
You're asking
I'm
as
acting
if,
like I don't know you.
like you don't know me for my whole life.
Yeah. So do you do private sessions when you
Yes.
do DNA activation? Okay, so it's
Yes, we do private sessions, we do group sessions. We just want to help. The reason why we want to do this is to help people raise their frequency. We want to help people live the best life, and we want to be of service to people. If I have a gift, how can I gift it to you? How can I use my gift to make your life better? And if if I'm channeling DNA activations, I want to share it with you because it's going to help you.
okay.
Yeah.
Take me on your process when you go through
So
someone.
when we start doing the DNA activation, first of all, you have to be ready,
Yeah.
right? You have to be ready.
Do you feel like you tried to help someone who they said they were ready, but maybe they weren't fully
Yes.
ready,
Yes.
and then they get like stuck in a block?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not ready to release the things, because look, you cannot expect to have this new, beautiful, wealthy life and you're still carrying around other old stuff. You cannot bring the old things into the newness if you want the newness. So how badly do you want to experience this new life that you want? And don't forget to bring your body along with you, because you're a spiritual being having a human experience. But don't forget to bring your body along the manifestation process, because I truly believe that your body is a tool, and DNA activation is such a powerful tool to do within your body so that you can be manifesting synchronicities just in the flow of life, So the process is, we pull out your DNA and we look at it just as the first one, the little girl
So
with
are
the
they
dog.
in like a meditation state, or what are they?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
We walk you through a meditative state.
Okay.
And we pull it out and we look at the DNA, and then we see where are there either bumps or fractures in the DNA. And then we look at that and we can move light over the DNA strand and then move it all the way up to heal that and mend those things. And you don't have to know every little thing that happened. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this happened. Just the bigger things that pop up for you to accept, heal, and okay, let's release that. But a more advanced method also is we split the DNA. So you have your physical DNA and your spiritual DNA. And so when we split your DNA, there's 2 helixes floating here. And we move this golden white light all the way up these DNA strands. And then we start to reprogram it, right? So you clean house first, clean it, and then we go over it again with, what intention do you want? What do you want in your life? Don't be afraid. Dream the biggest dream you can, because what if, right? What if I was this? What if I did this? What if I could become the healthiest, most fit person? What if whatever it is you want, right? It's your life. And so start to reprogram and infuse your intention in this golden light over your DNA. And then we bring it back together, and then we put it back into your body and anchor it into your body, and then have it start turning within and just spinning. And once that happens, every single cell in your body is going to respond, because it's a new frequency, it's a new vibration. So it's going to respond to this newly activated DNA you have. And every single cell in your body has DNA, right? And so if that's true, then every single cell of your body, once you reprogrammed those physical and spiritual DNA together, it's reacting to what you just did. And so every cell of your being is infused with your intention. And then and when you start to move it up your body, I call it the antenna to the universe. Because your DNA is the antenna to the universe. It is like your tuning fork to the universe. And you're saying, universe, this is what I want. This is who I am. This is what I want to experience. And you become that because you've reprogrammed it down to your core. And so this is my process of doing that. And then, you've got to eat clean right after you do that, drink lots of water. It's like going through it's a healing for you. Yeah. And so if you can learn the process and do this, we want to teach. Like my guides are always wanting to teach you because they want to help you. They want to help you elevate your life. And if it's through your physical body, do not forget your physical body along the process of manifesting.
I didn't realize there's two different types of DNA. There's your physical and spiritual.
Yeah.
I've never heard of spiritual DNA.
Yes. So if you're a spiritual being having a human experience, why wouldn't you have a spiritual DNA? And I like to look at spiritual DNA as all of your past lives, just as we talk about sorry, I hit this. Oops. Okay. So I like to look at spiritual DNA as how we just talked about the 7 generations back, right? Physically. Why wouldn't you have 700 generations back of your reincarnated lifetimes? And so your past lives, you bring that, the lessons, the love, the hurt, everything, you'll bring it to this lifetime. And so you have spiritual DNA that, okay, here's an example. I had to clear my fear of birds because remember? Yeah.
How can I forget?
Okay. So
yeah, she's so deathly afraid of birds growing up. Like just a bird would just be, she would be like screaming.
And did a bird ever attack me? No. Even though when we were young, you would chase me around with your chicken, right? She'd be like, chicken, I would catch a chicken, and the chicken's like flopping the wings, right? And I was like, I can't, like, running away. She's like, my chicken. Okay, so
I didn't talk about the chicken story. Maybe that's what traumatized you.
No, that was traumatizing, but why though, right? Why? So I did this past life regression, and in my past life, I lived in the Middle East somewhere, and I guess I was poor and I had maybe stole food or something, and they buried me in the sand up to my neck. And I remember being buried there, and there are these like big buzzards that were flying around and were like pecking me, and like my eyeballs are hanging out, and I was literally pecked to death. And so I carried that fear in my spiritual DNA to this lifetime. And so as a kid, when you chased me around with the bird, right, I didn't know that happened to me in a past life until I started doing the work of going into a past life regression. And I started to heal that part of me. Like, oh, you know what? This is just the circle of life. And so I put myself in my fear in the bird. And I looked back at me and, from the bird's perspective, and was like, oh, this is the circle of life. I get it now. I don't have to be afraid. Would I pet a bird? Not really. But I'm not like freaking out if one lands over here now, So that's part of the power of healing past life DNA. Okay, and your spiritual DNA.
What else can it heal? So besides like fear of birds, fear of dogs and stuff like that, give me other examples of what it can heal.
So it can heal anything you want it to heal. Because if you're carrying that's why we said like, if you're carrying around whatever it is, do you want to heal that? It is what you're carrying around. Will that get you to your next best life? And if you don't want to carry it anymore, DNA reprogramming, DNA activation will help you release that, like deeply.
Yeah.
Have you ever met someone that said, "Oh yeah, I forgave that person," or "Oh, I'm healed from that"? but yet they keep talking about it and the trauma they've had and all the things.
Yeah.
But if you keep talking about it, maybe you really haven't healed. Maybe you've healed the first level, like first
Yeah.
layer. That's
Yeah.
why DNA activation is really important. Just first layer. Okay, maybe I'm ready to do, a second layer,
Okay.
third layer, and then just keep going. So we have people in our soul school that they're probably like at least 40 to 50 DNA activations in.
Wow.
And, some are getting promotions at their jobs, some are
Wow.
shifting big time.
Yeah.
And it's really, really,
Yeah. So
I'm
Soul
happy.
School, let's talk a little bit about Soul School. Soul School is your online community.
Yep. Soul School
Okay.
is our online community. And we have,
And you do DNA activations
yes.
online.
Yes. So
Wow.
it's the course. So we
Okay.
have DNA activations where you can listen to, meditate. There's affirmations in there.
Okay.
There's our entire course of Speaking Abundance Method. So that
Okay.
was the first course we created, was Speaking Abundance Method. That's all in there. So there's a lot. And then every time I channel monthly, we'll upload that. So maybe we'll put like 3 or 4 channelings in Soul School under like monthly channeling. So
Okay.
you're
Oh,
always
good.
updated with all of the channelings. And
Okay.
my guides, so my guides are star. They're from the Pleiades. They're from
Okay.
Makali'i. And my process of channeling them, which how we learned about the DNA activations is I allow my guides to sit in me. So I'm like cruising over there, my spirit, or I'll go flying around. And I'll allow my guides to sit in me and speak out of me. And so when I do that in either private sessions or the group sessions, they will start to raise the frequency. You will literally feel the energy in the room shift. And the knowledge that comes out of my star guides, it's always so beautiful. And they just want to raise your frequency always. Yeah. And Nani always says like, hey, you have to listen to those back, because once I channel, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good. But I'm not really there because I'm not,
Yeah.
So when I listen to my own channelings back, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so smart,
Like I said that?
Yeah, no, I didn't. But I'm
Right,
like, wow,
right.
I always say like, that came out of my body. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so DNA activation. Do people need you to walk them through, or is this something that people could do on themselves? Or
You can do it on yourself,
Okay.
definitely, but I would highly recommend, because you're not really sure how to do it.
Yeah.
Like, come join us at Soul School. We do group activations. We are happy to walk you through the process and see how you feel the first time you do an activation. Because you are actively participating in this. We're not just doing your DNA activation for you. You are participating because we want to teach you how.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you could do it whenever you want to do it, wherever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
one of the members, every day he walks his dog, he does his DNA activation while he's walking his dog, and he's healing his body. Like, he's been on medicine for years with the psoriasis and all the things. And he's like, it's like going away a lot. And I'm just amazed,
Yeah.
when you heal yourself on that deep level. But you can do this on your own and just make it a practice, right? Like brushing your teeth, or right before you go to sleep, do your DNA activation and set the intention of what do I want? After you start releasing, right? You have to go through the process first of releasing the trauma, releasing all of the things that are blocking you, that you're fearful of. And then from there, you start to activate and start putting intention of, this is what I want. This is my dream. This is, this is how I want to grow. And then when you lock it back into your body and start spinning it, your entire being becomes your intention.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that your decisions are different. You're choosing differently. And you're aligning more towards what you want.
What's the difference between manifestation and DNA activation? Is there a difference, or is it similar, or?
So I think there is definitely a difference. So with the DNA activation, right? You're going deep inside your body. You're actually shifting your DNA, the thing that tunes your frequency. But then when you're manifesting, I feel like DNA activation is a huge part of your manifesting too. It's, I don't really want to say it's that separate, but manifesting is the end result, right? So it's like going to the gym,
Yeah.
right? You go to the gym, you're working out, you're lifting the weights. The weights aren't there to, you know, it's heavy. It provides resistance, right? But the resistance is good for you because it makes you stronger, right? And then the result is manifesting. The result is you're manifesting a healthy body, right? You're manifesting a fit body.
Yeah. But then, like how you said too, though, like DNA, you have to do the release first. But like manifesting, I don't feel like manifesting, you need to do a release. It's just like, I want to do this, I want to do that. It's like the what if process, right? It's like, what if I had a podcast? What if I did this? But then there's no release. So like DNA activation, there's a process first before you can tap into that.
It's
like how you said
deeper.
about the cleaning house. You got to clean the house first.
Yeah. So what you're doing with that is you're making room, right? You want to make room. The reason why we want you to heal the trauma, heal those things, and you're making room for your intention, and set the intention of what do I want? After you start releasing, right? You have to go through the process first of releasing the trauma, releasing all of the things that are blocking you. Because if you're carrying around, like we said, if you're carrying around your old life, there's no room for your manifestations to happen. But if you're empty, if you're clear, if you're clean, you're making room and say, I have room. I have the capacity to manifest this now because I've made room. I've let this go. The more you hold on to things, you can still manifest. But what is your capacity, your full capacity to manifest? Would it be greater if you let this go? Of course it would.
Is it hard sometimes? Because I'm just assuming that it'd be hard for some people to let, even though they want to let things go, it could be like they got to face a lot of things that maybe they're not ready to actually face before they got to let stuff go.
Yeah. I mean, the process to enlightenment, I mean, I'm not enlightened. I'm just a messenger. You know what I mean? But that process of leveling up your vibration, there's going to be times where the cost is your old life. What is your new life going to cost you? Your old one. But if you don't want your new life, then stay the same.
Yeah.
You know, a year from now, you're going to be in the same situation. And if you're happy with that, then great, you know?
Yeah.
But if you want to shift, if you want to manifest, if you want to have more experiences, that's why we're here, right? We're living life. You want to experience more life. You're not greedy for wanting more life. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. So let's press gas on this human experience then.
Oh yeah, you got this one life to live. You got the one go around at this, so make it great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if we can help tune your body to the most efficient manifesting magnet you can be, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Bring it. All of it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me examples of what DNA activation, what would that heal with people?
So DNA activation has a broad range of things that it can heal. One of the things it can do is help you if you have emotional issues, right? If you're carrying anger, if you're carrying stubbornness, if these are some of the traits that you might have, are these things really serving you? And so can you release this stubbornness? And sometimes you don't really realize, why am I stubborn? Well, my mom was stubborn and my dad was stubborn and my grandpa, that's just how it is. We just stubborn people. Well, do you want to break the chain? Do you want to break that, you know, from going to the next generation? Well, DNA activation can help you with that, to allow you to release the stubbornness, to give you more flow in your life. I mean, who doesn't want that, right?
Yeah.
Like, but you have to be brave enough to. You have to be brave enough to want to release those things, and aware enough to recognize I am kind of stubborn, or recognize those parts of you.
But I think you also have to be very open to wanting it, because stubborn people are stubborn, and so they may not be so open to be like, you know,
hey, I want to be in the flow now, you know, well,
like I'm ready to just change.
yeah, and that's up to them, you know. Yeah, that's up to them.
Yeah, but like what you said, like it's up to you. Like, what life do you want? Like in a year from now, what do you want your life to be like?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you want it to be like? And DNA activations can really help you focus and tune into what you want on a deep, literally cellular level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so let's talk a little bit more about, I know you have in-person events. So talk a little bit about that. Like what type of people come to the event? Who's it for?
It is for anyone who is open enough to want to level up. That's who it's for. So any age, gender, beliefs, because it's not religious at all. It's wanting, it's more, my guides talk more about energy because the universe speaks energy, right? It speaks frequency. It doesn't speak a language. The language of the universe is frequency. And so my guides are always talking about frequency, how to raise your frequency and level up that way. And so if you are interested in becoming more of a magnet, becoming more aligned with what you want instead of what you don't want, and learning the tools on how to do this, we invite you to come experience it for yourself. And
And so you do it once a month.
we do it once a month.
Okay.
We're
But
gonna
if people aren't here, how else could they could do it? Oh, no, but you have the online Zoom where people could Zoom and
Yep.
join in.
Yep, you
Okay.
can join us on Zoom. If you're not in Hawaii, you can join us on
Yeah.
Zoom. We want to travel more to go around the globe.
So Las Vegas.
Yes, Las Vegas. That's our next
That's in the
destination.
planning.
Yep, that's in our planning. We don't know what date yet, but
Yeah, it'll be 2025.
oh yeah,
Just FYI.
for sure, right? For sure. Yeah, 2025 we'll go to Vegas and
Okay.
do a group channeling there, and
Yeah.
we just want to touch more people and be of service. Of how can I help you? How can I help you with my gift?
Yeah.
You know, how can I help you? How can I serve you so that you can be the highest version of you? What is it that my guides can help you with? You know, and if it's closure because maybe a loved one has passed, is it you blocking you? Is it your own fears? Is it DNA? What is it? Because we don't only talk about the DNA activation, there's so much more. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so if someone cannot be in person or if they're not able to join online on the Zoom calls, so SoulSchool is another one.
Yes, Soul
Okay.
School.
So that's just online courses that you have, online community.
Yep, and we are in there pretty much daily answering questions, talking. We have like 21-day alignment challenges.
And that's where you teach them how to do their own DNA activation.
Yes.
Okay.
There is DNA activation, meditation inside of Soul School.
Okay.
And it is wonderful because people can just listen to it on their own. You know, if you're driving your car, just listen to it. You know, we have, I think, like over 60 or 70 channelings inside of Soul School. So
Okay.
if you want to listen to channelings, turn it on, you know?
Yeah.
One of our students, she finished it, I think, like in a week and a half, the whole speaking abundance method, and she started getting more clients. She's like, oh my gosh, things are happening now. And it's because in the morning, she would just turn it on while she's cooking breakfast or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to just sit and just make time. Who has time to just sit and just make the time, right?
Yeah.
But in your life, play it.
Yeah. Going for a walk, all of that, driving, commuting. Yeah.
Because even the frequency in a recording is it's at a high level that it'll start to shift your body already. It'll start to shift your body. So once you start listening to my guides, my channelings, it'll start to shift you already. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does anyone, we have like a small audience here, guys. I know you guys can't see them, but we do have a small audience here. Do you guys have any questions?
I was wondering, who are your guides?
My guides are from the Pleiades. So they're star. It's a council of them. And they travel around galaxies, the universe. And so they have a vast knowledge of space. And they've been coming to Earth for thousands and thousands of years, learning about humanity and to raise frequency. So their mission is to always elevate and raise frequency within humanity. And when you do that, then your species will advance. So like humanity, they always say humanity is in its infancy stage right now. And so they always want to help advance humanity to the next level. And that's where you have peace is when you stop seeing the differences in each other, and when you come together, you have more peace within your species. So anyways, yes, my guides are from the stars. That was kind of long, but my guides are from the stars, and they are a council that sit in me, their consciousness. So they impress their consciousness upon me, and they just start speaking out of me. That's who they are. They're star.
This is still Uokea's question. When was the first time they came to you?
Ooh, this is good. That was a good question.
So they're not the first beings that I've channeled. But the first time I actually channeled was someone called Vakatea, and I channeled her. So, okay, it's kind of a long story. So the first time I channeled, it was Tamatoa. It was this man from Aotearoa. And his energy was so like warrior-like that when I was finished, like I was shaking. And I couldn't take how strong of like man warrior he was. And so I asked for a more gentle guide. And so Vakatea came, and she was this beautiful old Maori lady. And she hasn't reincarnated for like 2,000 years. So she had all of this old Maori knowledge. And so she would teach us things of like clearing and like the moons and the ocean. And it was so beautiful. And I channeled her for about 10 years. And then she had crossed over into her own journey, because she was like, I taught you everything that you need to know, and you're ready for the next level. And I was just like, no, please don't leave me, But after that, I didn't channel for over a year, because I didn't feel like, when you're mourning someone, right? So after that, then I started channeling Light Council, which they're beings of light from the stars. And then after that, it's star. So I've gone through several different guides that I've channeled. And so now it's time for star. Yeah. I feel like humanity's ready for star knowledge. Yeah.
Oh, when did you start doing channeling publicly?
Oh my gosh.
Was it 10 years or more? I don't know.
I think 2009. 2009. When I
Okay.
moved back to Hawaii from Seattle, I started because I was just channeling at home. Mapu would come visit us with the kids and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I would channel for them, Vakatea. And then when we moved back from Seattle to Hawaii, then I was comfortable enough. And I was like, okay, well, let's start channeling. So I started doing group channelings in 2009. Yeah.
Was it scary for you the first time you channeled?
The first time I channeled, I had to be near water for some reason, because they're Maori. I don't know. They were from like the water, and so I would always have to be by water. But the first time, like just the impression of it, like they would like sit and I'm like, oh, what's happening? And it would be a little bit heavy. And then they said, because you've been doing so many readings, because I've been a medium ever since I knew I was one, but channeling is different from being a medium. I would do regular readings, or I would tune into a person and it was me speaking, and I would have my guide here, and my guide would tell me things, say this is what we see, this is what's happening. And so I was basically like the middleman. And then one day they're like, look, what if you didn't have to do that and we could just sit in you and talk? I'm like, thank you. Like, yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
And then when they started sitting in me and speaking, my body had to adjust to that, because I wasn't in here anymore. It was someone else. And so my body would just be like shaking a little bit after. And then I started to regulate my nervous system for channeling. And it was really good.
Yeah. Do you feel like you needed to get comfortable with doing readings first, and then like when stepping into the spiritual stuff of it, like you got to get comfortable? So it's like level 1, let me do some readings. Level 2, let them talk to me, and then level 3, like now I'm more comfortable with having.
Yeah. It's the process, right? So the process for me was, how did I end up here?
Yeah. Your journey.
I ended up here because I was brave enough to accept my gift as me first. right? And then accept knowing that I had a spirit guide that was with me always, and then allowing my spirit guide to sit in me. This was like a 3-step process that took years to have that trust and knowingness that, yes, this is helping people. And so now this is how I help people, where I rarely just give regular readings of, oh, let me tune into you. Oh, I see this and that. Why? When I can just let my guide talk to you directly. It's more powerful that way. Yeah.
When you're talking about like setting your intention and then putting that in, what if you're wrong about what you want?
Oh, you always have the choice to choose again, right?
Okay.
You have the choice to choose again. So tomorrow, if you feel like, hey, you know what, I kind of want to tweak that, then go back in, take your DNA out, redo it, and reset it. Yeah. Yeah. But we always say, try not to, oh, I want this. Oh, now I want that. Now I want all the things. Pick something, pick something in this area and go for that. Start to reprogram, focus on that. And then once things starting to happen, then choose something else, but if you're reprogramming like A to Z, this, that, it's too many things. So just focus on like 1 or 2 things and start to really work that through your DNA strand.
Would the reprogramming DNA method work for children who have gone through so much trauma?
Yes.
Like, because I feel like they wouldn't even know, right? Like they're young and they probably feel it, but they don't like talking about it because they don't know what it is. Would that help? Like, would that help identify what's going on with them or help them in their healing journey kind of thing?
I think it would. Like, remember the story about the young girl with the dog? She didn't know, right? She didn't know why she was so afraid of dogs. But when we did her DNA within the, couple hours, she was rolling around with the dog, so I feel like if you were to run a child through a DNA activation, having them aware, because this young girl, she wasn't aware. Her mom was aware, but she wasn't. So if you did an activation with a child, their potential would be infinite, I believe.
I feel like it's more powerful because they're
fresh.
Yeah. And then they're
Right?
more with like maybe they know what's going on that they can also help to hone in too versus them not knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine if you did teach children how to reprogram their DNA, how to set intention to what they want and lock that into their beingness and have that spin and be the tuning of what they want in the universe and what they want to experience in life. Oh my goodness. I wish I knew this when we were little, Yeah, to teach children. We haven't taught children this, but if you were to do that, I think it would be so powerful because it would give the child the belief that they can overcome and do anything too,
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you for tuning in. And I hope to see you in the next episode. Woo!